Okay, so here I am, doing the video I said I would. To be honest, I don't know how to make this one. I don't know how to present it, so I'm gonna do something different from all the others, which is usually recording, vocals and all that. That is quite literally the last thing I do. Or I guess adding the back the background music is, but for this one, I really want to talk. That's kind of what I want to do. I'm the type of guy who likes, building out rosters in Madden or as these videos, I like predicting DLC and guessing whole game rosters and, you know, this is another chance to do it because of the new things we learned on Tokon, which is every single character, or not every single character, um, instead of like we're just picking these dudes and we're doing this, it's we're getting four teams with a designated leader, and those designated leaders are Storm, Cap, Spidey, Ghost Rider, and Doom. And with the, Unbreakable X-Men out of the way, we're left four leaders, four teams. And I think it's really interesting because there's like a method to the madness a little. And I think the first team I'm really interested in talking about, which is kind of shocking, is it's gonna be the Avengers team. You know, we already know Cap and Iron Man are there, and the reason I'm sort of interested is because it creates this the last two spots kind of create this thing where people think Thor and Cap, or not Thor and Cap, sorry, Thor and Hulk are guaranteed the last two, and I'm more so on the side of it's either Thor or Hulk, and I think it's going to be Thor for sure for the third one, and then the fourth one is where like part of where I get mixed up um is there gonna be a girl in each team? Just like very matter of fact, not that it matters to me or bothers me. I'm just like I'm in here, man. I'm in the lab. I want like any kind of little little tidbit modicum of like uh, information or like a direction I could like lean in. I want to take. And so like with that, that's why I don't think Hulk's in the game because if they really wanted Hulk, we could get She-Hulk as the last member, and that's one option I definitely consider. However, if we're talking girls, you we could get Miss Janet Van Dyne herself, core founding member of the Avengers, and I wouldn't hate it. I really wouldn't. I think it'd be really awesome. But that also creates a thing of like could be Ant-Man, and that's where I'm hung up on. But maybe it's the Earth's mightiest heroes in me. I would lock in for Team Avengers. It's gonna be Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and the Wasp. And I'm fine with that. I saw a Twitter take of like, what if they do like She-Hulk and then Ant-Man and Wasp as like one? And I like that idea, but I didn't come up with it, so I'm not gonna talk about it or like be like, what if we did this? Because that's not my flow. I didn't cook that, so I can't really be I can't be really sitting on it. And plus, I like I like that team. I don't, and like the reason I like this team is because Thor's not really much of an MVC character. He's been an assist, I think, in every game he was ever a part of until three, and then from what I understand, none of the hoes really like him that much in three, so I'm fine with it, truth be told. Um, and then the Wasp, I think she's like a core foundational character, and this is where kind of another thing I think about is I think we're getting a weirdo low key for each team. I think that's kind of another part of the roster is we're getting a bunch of weirdos and we're gonna learn to love them. You and me, brother. Okay. And by weirdos I mean characters that I have not been in it, or like you aren't used to seeing them in video games, being playable. So that's my first team that I got set. Well, I didn't really have an order planned, but I guess I'm gonna leave one team for last because I think that team is totally empty. And these next two have someone already on their teams, which kind of sucks for one of them. We live, and I think the next team I'm going to talk about is Spider-Man. And I'm I'm going to upset people because I'm not. There's like one kind of Spider-Man, or like one Spider-Man character I'm putting on this team, but that's because I think this is Team New York slash Team The Streets. Not the Defenders. I think the Defenders could be their own team for DLC. Um, and so that would mean Spider-Man and Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan herself, are the first half of the team. And, excuse me, next team member, well, if you watched the last video, if you watched the last video, I am supremely confident that this character is in the game. I'm sorry, dude, I got hiccups. It's Daredevil. I think Daredevil really carries. Okay, people right now baby raging that like they picked Danger, and like the masses think magic didn't exist until Rivals. Well, how about we soothe it a little bit with, you know, the devil in Hell's Kitchen. I don't know what to say, man. It's Daredevil. Like, you really can't go wrong with him. Never been in a game. Iconic, he fills a little bit of niches. Um, Now here's where I think the wheels fall off because I'm personally not putting Venom in my roster because I don't think he really. I think this one. I think this is interesting thing with Venom where whenever like a Marvel game needs a villain, they'll bring up Magneto, right? One of the first ones when Magneto hasn't been a character in a billion, or not a character, a villain in a billion years. But they don't like really see it that way. But for Venom, they do, and that bothers me because I don't know. I think Venom could be a cool villain in a lot of these games where like it's a different universe. They're like going out of the way to make a whole new lore for the setting of this Marvel, you know, media. So with that in mind, the Spider-Man character I have in mind is actually Black Cat. Low key. We're just dudes. We're just some New Yorkers. I think Black Cat could be cool and like, maybe this is like a super Rush Downy team, and then you just have Miss Marvel, who was like a complete bastard in the betas, but I digress. That's nothing against her. She didn't make herself like that. I don't know. I think that's really fun. I don't know why, but in my mind, Black Cat just really clicks. I like it. I think it could work. I really do. I don't know what they would be called because I think calling them the defenders would really piss people off, and that would not go over well. I don't know. Maybe that's a slight on my behalf. But Team NY represent you have been chosen as Spider-Man's team. Okay. And then the next team, um, this team kind of sucks to make because Ghost Rider's really cool in this game, you know? And it's Robbie Reyes. Who doesn't like Robbie? However, Star-Lord's inclusion on this game, high key in my opinion, is a complete blight because instead of like a team guardians, you know, or whatever, that doesn't exist. That like cannot exist, I don't think, because it's not freaky weird Ghost Rider where it's Frank Castle, you know, getting intergalactic, and you know if you do the things, that would mean I don't think he's with Doctor Doom because for a special reason. So that means Star Lord or not Star Lord, Ghost Rider's getting shafted with Star Lord, and I think that sucks. But I think they themselves can be Team Weirdo, and this is gonna be the lamest sales pitch. But oh, and I'm gonna okay. So the first character is gonna be Doctor Strange, and I'm like, I want to go back and look for the leak or like misedited IGN article or like Steam summary article where they said Doctor Strange would be in the game, and that's kind of my logic for adding him. Also, I don't know. I mean, you know, Robbie. I don't know, man. That's my logic. And then the other one I think is Blade because Blade's kind of Blade's kind of always stayed popular after his movies and like whatnot. And people really like him. He's always a fan favorite, big name. I don't think anyone would be upset with Blade, but because they wouldn't be the Midnight Suns because I don't think Robbie was ever in it, and and then of course there's Star Lord. But the only other like people I could see in consideration for this is Moon Knight and Elsa Bloodstone. And I'm not in love with either of those two. You know, I don't think I would complain if they were to get in, but I think Doctor Strange is kind of like a. I think this is a really okay. Hold on, how do I put this? The team overall is very safe and like all right. It's cool because it's Strange and Blade. I don't think people would could have complained. You're not gonna get the. I probably bring this up every single time, but you're not gonna get the danger magic complaints that you're getting with this team. I think as a trade-off, it's just like this really, really, this is a team we're bringing. What are they? Some kind of midnight sun, you know? And I don't, and I get that. I think that sucks, but what if they're called like the Mystics or something, you know? I don't know. Don't kill me if that's a team name. I think that might be a game, but you know, they could just be dealing with all the extra bullshit, you know, like maybe there's they already made in canon lore as to why we got magic or revealed the in canon lore as to why we got magic in danger. Make a lore on why Star Lord's here. And maybe we'll get Team Guardians with the DLC. Um which I wanna which the last team Doom's team I kinda wanna dig into because I also guess DLC, but yeah, this is just kinda like Star Lord was such a lazy character in my opinion to pick. Like I get they picked him because he's kind of like the main one based off like the movies. You know, it's kind of like the public perception he has. I like know a little comics. I don't know a lot, so I couldn't tell you if he's the main character. But I would have picked Mantis or Nebula high key if we were mandating a Galaxy character be picked because I think they're just cooler. But yeah, you know, Team Mirage, Team Mystics, whatever. Robbie, you got one bum on your team, but your team overall works. I think it's just like it's just bad vibes. It's like, yeah, this will work. This is like, you know, it's like individually you're all cool except Psylocke. Individually you're all really, really cool. Individually I like you all. However, as a group, some don't some don't taste quite right, you know. But I think I think it'll work and be fine because of the characters. Okay, so I saved the best for last, Mister. I'm not getting a retro skin or like a different iteration of a skin. I'm too good for that. I'm getting my own custom, excuse me, Arxis made skin, which is Doctor Doom. The sorry, excuse me, hiccups. The big reason, you know, the thing I hinted at is this is Team Villains. Um, I don't really think they're being coy about it. I think we might get like a secret last character. Yeah, so this is why I didn't put Star Lord here. And I I've seen some theories that like maybe like brainwashes the Fantastic Four. Not necessarily that. This would be like me making like the lore fan fiction. Is that what this would be? That like he gets Reed out of the picture and like he's mind controlling the four. And I I have mixed feelings on that. I want the four in its entirety. I do not. I don't think there's a point if we're not getting all four, and I don't really want to wait. Um, which kind of will, because I'm gonna guess DLC two, and this will like contradict that. But hey, man, I'm you know that's just me. That's how I operate. Um, and you and like um, I think like a base like kind of guideline rather that I have for Doctor Doom's team is it would be really cool if he got like a villain from each team, but that's like really hard. And I don't know who they would do for the magic dude without doing like Dormammu, but I think he's too MVC to pick him. But the first character, and this is where I think a bit of a redemption for me, at underscore junk dog on YouTube, is the Spider-Man character. It's not Venom, because because you know, it's Green Goblin. Green Goblin's super iconic. Green Goblin's super popular. He's never been in an MVC game. You know, MVCI Ultra or Ultimate Super Spider-Man Super is like the closest we've ever gotten to him, and that's kind of crazy. I think he could be really cool. He could be. You know, I'm very much like in love with the idea that it's Gobby. I think last couple times I talked about it, I've been very Mysterio build. I don't think that way no more. I think Goblin. Give me Gobby. He could be like a, you know, he could be a cool middle ground between flying and grounded. And make him creepy. I want him to look creepy. I like when he looks like really weird. I like the like classic costume a lot, or like his like original costume a lot. I think there's a lot of potential there. And then see that whole like Magneto rant really discourages me from picking Magneto because I don't I don't oh man, this is tough because what villains would they do, you know? Um or okay, I think Lady Loki makes sense here. I think I would do Lady Loki, you know. Never been in an MVC game. It'd be different enough. Um, yeah, my mind kind of went Kira Ultron, I won't lie. But I mean Ultron might work, but clean slate, Lady Loki, Green Goblin. Um, I think those two are like very diverse pools. Not pools, 'cause it's like two of the most popular Marvel characters around, but you get what I mean. They're weird in this like super hyper niche bubble. Um, the last one I would have I'm kind of torn. I Magneto makes sense even after my rant. I do lean Dormammu. I saw Max dude pick Scarlet Witch, but I don't really like that. You know, maybe I don't think Mystique would really work well, especially on a team. Yeah, I just don't think Mystique would work well. Um, and that's where like I'm kind of stuck because who else would you? 'Cause I don't know ball like that or like this. I don't know who else I would pick. Um, I think I think Magneto makes sense, man. I'm I don't like. I think Apocalypse could work. Is Magneto too MVC pilled though? But this is another way to sneak an X-Men character on the roster. I think I will do Magneto. I could keep. Yeah, I'll do Magneto. Um, I think that's a perfectly fine team. I want to talk about the DLC because I think the obvious like line of thinking for the DLC, considering it's all four out or like it's four characters, it's going to be a team. I think the other line of thinking is it's a character who could be like swapped out and replace characters on a team, but there's five teams, so that's why we're at, 5 times 4 is 20. That's where I'm like, the math doesn't quite up add. So I I just think it's the Fantastic Four, but that's very boring and lame, and there's not really much to talk about beyond that. So um, other ideas I had: Asgardians, Team Asgard, and it's Lady Sif, Hela, Beta Ray Bill, and Angela, maybe. That's just Team Marvel Rivals brain rot, though. I won't lie, but or Enchantress. No, 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 no. Get rid of Angela and put Enchantress on there. So it would be Hela, Enchantress, Beta Ray Bill, Lady Sif. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that. I think that's cool. Another one I have is Guardians of the Galaxy, and like this one's a little weird because I think I would personally do Drax, Mantis, Gamora, Groot. I've had enough. I've had enough. Rocket for me. Okay, and yeah, no, that's it. I don't like Rocket. I really liked Rocket as a kid. Watching the movies and stuff. I don't like Rocket no more. I'm over it. I don't want Rocket. Rocket upsets me greatly. You could do the Defenders. But how would you do the I don't know how you would do the Defenders. Never mind, I lied. Um, the Brotherhood could be cool. You know, if Magneto doesn't get in and then like place him with like Morgan Le Fay or like the Hood. You know, there we go. Change if I put the Hood in instead of Magneto, and you could do the Brotherhood with like Mag, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Juggernaut, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's a team that could work. I would New Mutants. Give me Moonstar. Just lie a little. Also, do like Moonstar. Mirage, Sunspot, and Forge, or like Bane's Wolf. Um, you could do another like what you could do like I was gonna say West Coast, but that's some bullshit because like I don't know enough comics to be like, here's West Coast Avengers. But you could do like another Avengers lineup where since I didn't have Hulk, you could do like Kate Bishop, Hulk. Um, ooh boy, Black Panther's another character that I think could be on the original and like the main Avengers team. But yeah, Hulk, Kate Bishop specifically, Black Panther, and like Vision or something. I don't know. Needless to say, I think the only way people would not get upset about DLC is if it was all X-Men. Like if all four of the characters were X-Men, and like that is just like top level surface bubble because immediately it would burst because people would be upset that it's not like 90s X-Men. It's not X-Men 97. It's not Cyclops. It's not Psylocke. It's not, all the dudes in the background of the Xavier Mansion stage. But I just yeah. The what do we the tired take is it's the Fantastic Four. The wired take would be its team as guards. Um, yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind like Hulk, Black Panther, Kate, and Vision. The Brotherhood team I'm iffy on. Um, the New Mutants team I would be all for. I'd really want to do the dude the new. I just want Moonstar, man. Put her in a game. But yeah, that's all I got. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, the usual. If you watch us for a minute, 5 minutes, clicked on, clicked off, stayed here until then. Very appreciative. I the rivals video. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I think so. Maybe I'm just kind of banking on something coming out between now and season 7 and do like an overall vibe check on rivals. But yeah, that's it. I'll see you then.